Hey guys, it's Izzy. Welcome back to another Reformer Pilates workout. Today we're going to be doing a nice dynamic workout using both our box and a dumbbell. I've chosen 2 kilos today, but you're welcome to go heavier than that. So pick your own poison for some arm work with that dumbbell. We're going to start off with our warm-up though. I'm just going to pop on either one red spring as a base option, red and yellow as a little bit more of a challenge, or even red and blue as a super challenge. That'll be quite spicy though. And then we're going to take a little lie down for a bit of a stretch to start us off. So I'm going to bring my dumbbell with me. I'm just going to lie myself side lying on my reformer here. Just because I am side lying, I'm also going to prop up my headrest just a little bit, or you can use a pillow or a ball to help with your spinal alignment there. All right, we're going to start off just with a little bit of a book opening here. So keep those hips nice and stacked. Dumbbell is going to be in that top hand, and we're just going to open that dumbbell up and over, feeling a bit of a stretch around, and then bring it back in. Now, if you're noticing that your shoulder blocks are getting in the way, just take a little wiggle out of those shoulder blocks there. And you continue with that twist. Good, so we exhale, we open up, have a look back over that shoulder there. Think about opening your chest to the sky for me before you close it back in. We're just gonna do 2 more of these. Opening up, have a look over your shoulder, twist open through that chest. We squeeze it back in. Last one, we're just gonna hold it open. Find that big twist, hold it there. Can you use that exhale, sink that little bit deeper into your twist there. This is your last 3, last 2, and last 1. We're gonna go straight to the second side here, so swivel yourself around. From there, we're just going to go straight into this book opening on that second side. So we're going to be opening up through that arm, opening up through that chest, twist around, and then bring it all the way back in. Again, you can wiggle out of those shoulder blocks a bit if you need more room here. Really just focusing this movement in on our thoracic spine, so that upper part of our spine, the part of our spine that's attached to our rib cage here. So imagine that rib cage swiveling out and around, opening that chest up to the sky, swiveling that gaze around as well here. Let's go for 2 more. On this last one, we're just gonna hold it open there. Maybe you go that little bit deeper. Use that exhale to twist that little bit further. Last 3, last 2, and final 1. Very good. All right, just so I'm facing you guys, I'm going to swivel back around to the first side, but feel free to stay on that side if you prefer. From there, we're going to go straight into some side lying glute work. So again, set yourself up really nicely. So we've got shoulders on top of each other, hips stacked on top of each other, and our knees are just wiggling onto that carriage as well. From here, I'm going to wiggle my bum all the way back behind me. So my bum's going right to the very back edge of that carriage. From here, I'm going to grab a hold of my long loop that's closest to me. I'm going to bring that down and around the arch of that top foot there. Beautiful. From here, just make sure again that those knees are nice and stacked, and think about your foot with your strap just slightly kicking forward just a little bit, so it's just in line with that very front edge of your reformer as well. All right, we're going to start off just with a little lift and lower here. So we're going to hover that whole leg up as one unit just to that hip height, and then lower it back down. So we're hovering it up just to hip height. We lower it back down here. So just finding that hover and lower. Now, as you're opening and closing this leg here, we want to try and keep even tension through that foot, through our strap. So your carriage really shouldn't be moving at all here. It should be nice and still, nice and steady. We're just hovering it up and lowering it back down. Beautiful. Keep this going. Another thing to watch out for here is our alignment. Sometimes as we hover up, that knee goes a little bit lower than our foot, or our foot goes a little bit higher than our knee. We really want to think about our foot staying right in line with our knee as we lift and lower. So that knee and that foot are at the same height the whole time. We're just going to go for another 5 like this. We're going to hold it up, start to add on a bit of a press. In 3, in 2. On your next one, we hover up, hold it there. Can we press that leg out long? Think about that leg reaching for your foot bar. We bend it all the way back in. We close those knees down. So we hover it up. We press it out long. We bend it back in. We close it down there. So just starting to add on that press here, really thinking about reaching and pressing through that heel. It's almost like that heel is stomping onto that foot bar each time you press it out. We control it in, we lower it down. Now, it's also nice to think about this one as a movement to start to warm up through our glute max muscle, or our big glute muscle that's right at the back of our hip. To do that, as you reach your leg long, think about squeezing through the back of the hip. That leg might line up with the rest of the body, or even go slightly behind your body there. Really squeeze that hip before you bend it back in and close it down. So finding that little bit of extra length here as you reach it out long each time. We've got just another 8 like this. If you want to add on just a little bit more already, you're welcome to add a little pulse as well. So adding on a little pulse as that leg goes long. We've got just another 6 like this. Let's go for 5. Keep adding that pulse if it's for you. We're going to meet with that leg nice and long. In 3. In 2. On your next one, leg is nice and long. It's reaching long. Can we just lift that leg up? Lower it back down. So going for a little pulse here, a little lift, a little lower. You can think about that leg being just above hip height for me as we hover it up and lower it back down. Again, as we're moving through this one, have a double check in on what those hips are doing. Check that those hips are still stacked one on top of the other. Sometimes what we see is that top hip rolls back. So we're actually working our kind of hip flexors here rather than bringing that top hip slightly forwards, working that side part of our hip, our glute med and min. Really good, guys. We've got just another 6. We're going to switch it up into a bit of a bicycle. So we're keeping that leg hovered. In 5. In 4, keep that leg hovered for me. In 3. 2, stay hovered for 1. We're going to bend it back in. From here, can we kick that leg forwards? We sweep it all the way back to our foot bar. So we bend it in. We kick it forwards. We sweep it back. Stay with that leg at hip height for me. Keep this energy going here. Beautiful. We bend it in. We kick it out. We sweep it back. Just like you're riding a bicycle here. I have to admit, I don't really ride a bike, so we may be going backwards here, but that's okay. Stick with it. Really good, guys. We've just got another 5. I'm feeling the spice now, squeezing through that glute as we sweep it back. Beautiful. We've got 3. That leg is going to hold that sweep forwards. In 2. On that next one, bring your leg forwards. One last round of pulses here. Can we lift it up and up? And up, really good. Turn that heel to the sky, toes to the ground. We've got 10 seconds here. Can you go that little bit deeper into it? Can that leg hover up just a fraction further? Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. That strap can just go down there. Have a little pat out of that hip if you need. From here, I'm going to grab a hold of my dumbbell again. And I'm just going to take a lie on my back ready for some core work here. I've just popped my headrest down, then I'm going to hold that dumbbell in both hands, reaching it up to sky, and then float both of those legs up into my tabletop position here. We're going to start by working through some obliques. So deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to crunch up. Can you bring that dumbbell over to one side? We control it all the way back down. So we crunch up, dumbbell goes over to the other side, we bring it back in, lower it back down. So we lift up, dumbbell to one side, bring it back in. So we're adding a little bit of a twist onto each of these crunches here. Now, just because we're twisting doesn't mean that we lose the rest of the technique here. Really think about using that exhale as you find that lift, that inhale as you find your lower here. So exhale, we find that lift, inhale as we find our lower. That exhale breath is really going to help us connect into some of those deeper core muscles. So as you lift up, think about that belly button drawing down towards your spine. We want to avoid that doming sensation or that doming shape of our cores here. So really think about think about that belly button drawing down as you find that lift, staying down as you find that lower for me. Beautiful. Let's start to add on an opposite leg extension there. So we lift up. The leg extends out long. We bring it back in. The leg extends out. We bring it back in here. Keep this one going, adding on those leg extensions, adding on that little bit extra challenge there. Really think about that leg reaching away, reaching nice and long, controlling it back in. If you want more, can we hold it up there? Go for an extra leg extension out and in before you bring it back down. So we lift up, extra leg extension, in and out before you bring it back down. We've got 12 seconds of work like this. Just keep pressing through it. We're going to work through those leg extensions on each side. In 8, can you hold it up for me? Really strong, keep it going. Keep breathing through it. Keep that exhale working. Last 3, we're going to hold it up. In 2, final one here, hold it up, just those leg extensions. We press it out, bring it back in. We press it out, bring it back in. Keep breathing through this one. Reach that dumbbell. Can you bring that opposite shoulder blade up and off that carriage for me? Bring that chest that little bit higher. We've got 5 here. We're going to switch to the other side. In 3. In 2, on that next one, switch it over. Keep those leg extensions going. Other leg is reaching out and in. Can you reach that dumbbell that little bit further towards that foot bar? Keep it going. We've just got 8 more seconds. We're going to finish off this round by reaching that dumbbell to the sky, reaching those feet to the sky and pulsing it up. In 3, in 2, last one, feet to the sky, dumbbell pulses up and up. And up. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Go higher for 3, 2, and 1. All the way down. Have a quick little rock out of those knees if you need. Really good, everyone. Place that dumbbell away. We're going to finish off our second side of our side lying glutes now. So I'm just going to pop that headrest back up, or you can grab out that ball or pillow. From there, again, take that side lying position. We're going to wiggle our hips towards the very back edge of our carriage here. Check that those hips are nice and stacked, our shoulders are nice and stacked. And then grab a hold of our long loop just in front of us. It's coming up and over the arch of that top leg. All right, have that quick little reset. Make sure your body's nice and well positioned here. We're going to start off with that nice big clam. So we're going to hover that top leg up and bring it back down. So just working through that hover up, close it back down. So this whole time here, we're really trying to keep that carriage nice and still and steady here. We've got even pressure on that strap the whole time as we hover it up and as we bring it back down. Again, thinking about those legs staying in that tabletop-like position here. It's that 90-degree bend in the knee, 90-degree in the hip as well. And then we can also think about what that knee and that foot are doing in relation to each other. Are they staying at the same level, or are we having that bit of a dip in the knee? Really try and keep that knee and that foot right and aligned, right in the same level as we lift and we lower. Let's go for 5 more. We're going to start to add on our press. We've got 3, 2. On your next one, hover it up. We're going to press that leg out long towards the foot bar. We bend it back in. We lower it down. So we hover up. We reach it out long. We bring it back in. We lower it down. Keep this going. Hover up. We press. We bring it in. We lower. Now again with this one, as you press that leg out long, we want to start to connect into that glute max, or that bigger muscle behind our hip. So really start to sweep that leg just behind your body, squeeze through that bum muscle before you bring it in and close it down. So each time we hover up, press through that heel, squeeze that leg extra straight for me. We bring it back in, we lower it down. Keep this going. Keep that leg at that hip height, at that foot bar height if you can. If you want that little bit extra, you can also add on that little pulse here as you reach long. Add that extra little cheeky pulse, that little lift and lower before you bring it back in. So we press out long, add that little pulse, bring it back in and lower. We've got 10 more seconds to go here. Keep pressing through it. We're going to meet with that leg nice and long. Last 5, leg goes long for me. In 3, in 2, on your next one, press that leg long, just our pulse. We lift it up and up and up, starting to work through that pulse there. Take it slow, make it nice and juicy. Again, check that those hips are nice and stacked for me. Make sure that top hip hasn't rolled back. It's staying nice and stacked on top of that underneath hip there. Really strong, feel that leg reach long, really pulling as long as possible towards that foot bar. We've got just another 5. We're going to take it into that bicycle. We've got 3. We've got 2. On your next one, can we keep it hovered? Bend it in. We start to kick that leg forwards. We sweep that leg back. We bend it in. We kick it forwards. Sweep back, squeeze that big glute muscle. We bend it in. Kick it forwards. Sweep it back. We've got 10 seconds to go. Really strong here. Keep this movement going. Again, keep that leg at that hip height for me. Keep those sweeps going. Keep that hip nice and still and steady. Keep that torso nice and steady. We've got 4. We're going to meet with that leg forwards. In 3. In 2, on your next one, bring that leg forwards, hold it there. We are just pulsing it out here. Heel to the sky, toes to the ground, keep that pulse going. Really strong here. Can you bring that leg slightly higher? Can you bring it slightly further forwards in front of you? Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way back in. Take that strap off your foot. Have a little pat out of that hip if you need. Really good, everyone. We're going to bring ourselves up now, and we're going to change things up a little bit, set ourselves up for the rest of our class. Now, for the majority of the rest of our class, we're on a bit of a blue spring set. So pick wisely. We're either on one blue as your base option, blue on the top row as a little bit more of a challenge, or you can try blue and yellow as quite a bit more of a challenge. See how you go with that one though. We're also going to set up our box and our dumbbell again. So box is going to be long ways off the side of our reformer. So the long edge of the box is going to press up against the side edge of your reformer there. If you have it, I really like to think about the front corner of that box pressing up and wedging itself in behind your foot bar or behind the base of that foot bar there. Perfect. From there, we're going to grab our dumbbell. We're just going to be holding that in both hands, and we're going to meet standing right next to our box here. For this one as well, I'd also make sure you have a fairly clear space and maybe pop some grippy socks on or take your socks off if you don't have any grippies, just so you don't slip over. All right, let's start with a step up, nice and simple. We're going to step up onto our box and then step back down. We're going to step up onto the box and step back down. Nothing too crazy here, literally just stepping up and stepping down. Really just use these first few just to kind of get familiar with moving up and down onto the box. Get familiar with the foot positioning. Maybe you have to move the foot that's closest to the reformer a little bit closer to the reformer when you step up on the box so you have enough room for the other foot. Maybe you have to step out a little bit wider with the foot that's reaching to the ground first. Let's go just for another 8 like this. We're going to change it up, make it a little bit more dynamic. Lift the heart rate a little bit in 5, in 3, in 2. On our next one, I'm going to step up onto the box, hold it there. Now the foot that's closest to the box is going to stay glued to the box. My outside foot is going to do our big step down. As it steps down, can we find a squat? Good, we're going to press back up, just the toes of that foot touch the box. We go straight back down, we find our squat again. So we're just coming up, toes touch, we bring it straight back down. Bring it up, toes touch, we bring it straight back down. Now each time you come into that squat for me, really make sure those knees are pointing out over your toes. What we don't want is those knees crashing together, because that's just going to put a little bit extra load on our knees that we don't really need here. So keep those knees turned out, hovering it up and bringing it back down low. Good. Let's add that dumbbell on. Each time you step onto that box, can we press those arms up? We bring it back down nice and low. Press it up, bring it low. Press it up, bring it low. So good here. If you want more on top of that, we're also going to add a knee drive in here. So start to bring that knee up to chest. As you step up onto that box here, find a little balance at the top. Maybe start to speed up the tempo here, moving that a little bit faster, getting that little bit deeper each time. We've just got our last 8. Beautiful. We've got our last 6. We're going to meet down in that squat. Go that little bit faster for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find that squat. Just pulse it out here. Nice and low. Maybe you reach that dumbbell forwards here as well. We've got 5, 4, we're stepping onto our box. 3, 2, 1. Whoop. Step it up. 1 second to have a little shake and shimmy. We're going to turn ourselves around on our box to face away from our reformer. I'm going to keep my dumbbell just hanging out in my hands here. I'm going to reach the foot that's closest to the shoulder block back to find that shoulder block. Now, let's start off just with a little bit of a squat here. We're going to come down, keep your carriage closed. We stand right back up. So we come down low. We stand back up. Good. Now the purpose of going for this squat first and not moving the carriage is just to make sure that we've got all of our weight on that box foot. So keep your weight heavy over on that box foot as we bring it down and up. Once that's feeling good, we're going to start to add a press in. We come down. Can we press that carriage leg out? We bring it back in, stand it up, bring it down, press it out and in, bring it back up. Good, keep this going. Pressing it out and in, bring it back up. Nice. Really good. So as you go for that press of the carriage leg, again, staying light on that carriage leg, keeping most of our weight on that box side. Sometimes what we see with this one is people will come down, they'll press that carriage out, but their whole body will go with that carriage. So really try and stay centered over that box foot, over that stabilizing leg to work through that glute challenge here. All right, once that's feeling good, let's start to connect those two. We bring it down all together. We bring it up all together. We bring it down. We bring it up. Good. We bring it down and up here. If you want to add on that dumbbell, dumbbell's going to come into the same hand as your carriage foot, and we're going to start to punch across the body. We come down. Can we punch across the body? We bring it back up. So punching towards that foot bar, We bring it back up. Come down, find that punch, bring it back up. Beautiful, getting nice and deep, nice and strong here. All right, we've got 8 like this, getting extra low each time. We're gonna hold it down. In 6, we're gonna finish off with skaters. Meet me nice and low, working just that carriage leg. In 4, in 3, in 2, last one, stay low. Just that carriage leg is gonna press out and in. Keep that bum pointing right back behind you. Chest is pointing forwards. If you want more, punch that dumbbell across. Really strong here, keep it going. Pressing it out and in here. Keep those knees slightly turned out for me. Go lower on that box leg. Last 10. Keep this going, get lower. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap out those glutes. Have a good shimmy. Let's go for a little stretch out here. Just gonna find a forward fold over that box. Relaxing the head and neck. Letting the back of those legs stretch out a little bit there. If it feels good for you, maybe go for a little wag of the tail here. One last moment, one last breath in. And one last breath out. Slowly peel that spine back up. From here, we're going to give our legs a little bit of a rest, get into some upper body work. Now springs are staying the same, that blue on the top row or blue, yellow. But if you did want to change it, there's the spring options. You're welcome to mix it up if you want something different for your arm work. From here, we're going to be kneeling on our box, facing towards the back of our reformers now. Dumbbell's going to stay with us. I'm bringing the dumbbell to the hand that's closest to the reformer, and my hand that's furthest away from the reformer is going to grab a hold of my short strap. Beautiful. From here, just give yourself a little test row. We're going to hold that strap, draw that elbow back, and reach it forwards. If it's feeling too strong, you can try and shuffle your knees a little bit further forwards on that box to take off some of the tension. If it's not feeling strong enough, you can shuffle away and it will add on some of that tension. We're gonna start off just with our row here. So just that elbow pulls back and we reach it forwards. Now, as we work through our row, we want to focus in that little bit more on the muscles in the back of our body. So as you pull that elbow back, can you squeeze those shoulder blades for me? Release as you reach it forwards. Draw back, we find that squeeze. Release as we reach it forwards there. Keep this going. Nice, draw back, we find that squeeze. Release as you keep it forwards, reach it forward, sorry. This whole time, that chest is staying open, that gaze is staying lifted. We also want a little switch on with our core here, just to stabilize as well for us. Nice. To add on from here, can that dumbbell come to our shoulder? As you find your row, we're gonna press that dumbbell up to the sky. We bring it back down as you reach that arm forwards. So we find that row dumbbell presses, we bring it back down, we reach it forwards. Again, you can use your breath work here, using that exhale as you draw that arm back, inhale as you reach it forwards. Really good. Maybe we also start to layer on some rotation here. So as that elbow pulls back, can we twist into that row there, looking back over that shoulder. Last layer here is just adding on a little bit of a hip lift. So as you row back, can we start to drive those hips up and forwards? We find that row, we bring it down, we reach it forwards. So tuck that tailbone under, we find that lift, control it back down. We find that lift, control it back down. We've got 12 seconds of work just like this. Getting nice and strong, keep pressing that dumbbell up nice and high each time. We've got 6. We're going to hold it back in 5. Meet me up high in 3, in 2. Final one here, lift up, hold it there. Dumbbell arm stays straight. Can it lower down straight to your thigh? We squeeze it right back up. It lowers down. We lift it back up. Keep that elbow drawing back for me. Keep that twist in your spine. We've got 5. Dumbbell to the sky. We're going to pulse that row. In 3, in 2. Last one, hold it there. Pulse that row back and back and back. Last 8. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Strap can go back on to its little peg there. Just take a second. Maybe press those fingertips forward, stretch out through the back of the body there. And take that big stretch up and overhead as well. All right. We're going to reset our box just quickly. So we're going to bring that box up and onto our carriage just short ways for me. Once it is on there, we're also just going to add on just one heavy spring, so just one red spring. So we're going to go for a bit of a roll back from here, so target our core a little bit more. I'm going to tuck my toes just underneath my strap, and I personally like to bring my feet out a little bit wider to get a bit more tension on that strap. Toes to the sky, and then just shuffle my hips back a little bit on my box so my legs can be a little bit elongated. They don't have to be dead straight, just a little bit more length and a little bit more leverage on that strap. From there, dumbbells just going to come to our chest. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Deep breath in to prepare. We exhale, we're going to start to move into that roll back. So tail tucks under, we peel that spine back, hold. Once you feel that little bit of tension in the tummy, then we restack back up, sitting up tall on those sits bones. So tuck that tailbone under. We just find that roll back there. We squeeze back up, sit up nice and tall. With this one as well, I really do like to use that exhale breath with all of my core work, really. So really use that exhale as you sink back, that inhale as you come back up here. Think about that exhale, drawing that belly button in towards your spine as you roll back. That inhale helping you restack your spine there. I'm all muddled up today, aren't I? There we go. Exhale, we roll back. Inhale, we bring it back up. With these as well, I find it's also nice to think about that C-curve sort of shape in your core here. So as you roll back, it's not the most pretty position, but really think about tucking your tail under, drawing that belly button back, and thinking about kind of the base of your rib cage coming down towards your hip bones. That's going to help you do almost like an upside down crunch there, squeezing that core down before you scoop it back up each time. Nice. Let's start to add on some arms. As you sit up, can we reach those arms up? As you come back, can we start to reach those arms out in front of us? So we sweep up, we lift those arms up. We lower down those arms, sweep in front of us there. Good. Reaching down, can you go that little bit further now that that weight is in front of you? Try and go that little bit lower, reach that weight forwards. We sweep it up, press it forwards. Control it down, press that weight up and forwards as you bring it back up there. Nice. Now, if this feels good for you, feel free to stick with this. If you do want a little bit more though, I've got a sneaky extra bit of obliques to add in. Maybe next time you roll back, you hold it there. We're going to pass our dumbbell into one hand. Can that hand open all the way up and around? We bring it back in, pass to the other hand. We open it up and around. We bring it back in. We bring it back up. So we lower down, hold. Dumbbell goes to one side. We bring it in. To the other side, bring it in. We restack it back up. Now, if that's a little bit too strong for the core, you're also welcome to bring that dumbbell into your chest and go for a little bit of a twist just with your elbows twisting back and around. That'll take off some of that tension there if it's not for you. Otherwise, keep working through that twist with your dumbbell there for your challenge. Really good. Each time you go for that twist here, think about that dumbbell going away from you on a diagonal angle here. Really thinking about looking back towards that dumbbell as you sweep it away. Last 5 like this. We're going to roll it back, just work through those twists. In 3, hold it back. In 2, last one, just those twists. We're going from side to side here. Can you reach it that little bit further? Again, if it's better for you, dumbbell in, just those elbows doing the twist. Really strong here. We've got 6. Dumbbells coming back to center. In 5, hold it in the middle. Keep drawing that belly button in. 4, 3, 4, 2, 1. Dumbbell finds that center. Can we lift it up? We lower it down. We lift it up. We lower it down. Can you go that little bit lower in that roll back? We're here for 6. We're going to hold that dumbbell up. In 3, in 2, last one, hold it there. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, go lower, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find a forward fold for me. Relax that head and neck down. Stretch out through the back of the body there. Stretch out through the back. Deep breath in and big breath out. Whilst you're looking down at your springs there, can we just take off that extra red spring that we popped on? So we're back on our blue, our high blue, or our blue yellow. From here, we've got a little bit of evening up to do on our second side. So box is going to come with us. We're going to place it down, pressing that long edge up against the reformer, back onto that other side of our reformer. We're going to start off with our row work. So dumbbell's going to come with us. We're finding our kneeling position down on that box facing towards the back of the room here. Now, once again, dumbbell's going to be in the hand that's closest to our reformer, and short strap is going to come into the hand that's furthest away. Have a little test out again. See what the strength is feeling like. Do you need to shuffle that little bit forwards to take off some of the tension, or do you need to shuffle that little bit backwards to put on a little bit more? Find your good spot there. Find the challenge that works for you today. And we're going to get started with these rows. So just that narrow row to start us off. So elbow's going to draw back, and then we sweep it forwards. We draw that elbow back. We sweep it forwards. Maybe right away you start to use that breath work. So that exhale as you draw it back. Inhale as you reach it forwards there. Exhale as you draw it back. Inhale as you reach it forwards. Again, maybe you think about that little squeeze in that shoulder blade, opening up that chest just slightly as you draw that elbow back, keeping that gaze nice and lifted, keeping those shoulders nice and broad. Beautiful. Let's start to add that dumbbell in. As you draw it back, can you press that dumbbell to the sky? We bring it back down, we reach it forwards. So we draw that dumbbell back, we press it to the sky, we reach it forward. We draw elbow back, dumbbell to the sky, we reach it forwards. Elbow back, dumbbell up, pull it forwards there. Nice. So start to find a little bit of rhythm here, using that exhale as you put the effort in, inhale as you recover there. Good. Maybe we start to add that twist on, that rotation as well here. So we're twisting away from our reformer, twisting towards that rowing arm. Exhale, we pull it back. Inhale, we reach it forwards. Keep this energy going. If you want more again, can we start to lift those hips up? We lower back down. So starting to add that lift of the hips for that little bit extra challenge there. As you lift, really tucking that tail under, squeezing through those glutes, getting that little bit higher each time here. Exhale up, inhale back in. We've got just another 10. We're going to hold it all the way up for me. Press that dumbbell to the sky. Hold that row back. In 5. In 4. Hold it back. In 3. In 2. Final one. Draw it up. Hold it there. Arms stay straight. Just that dumbbell. lowers down, straight arm floats back up. Keep that twist going, keep that row all the way back behind you. Got 5 seconds here. We're gonna pulse out that row. In 3, in 2, last one, dumbbells up. Just that pulse through that row. We pull it back and back and back. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my goodness, roll out that shoulder, have that quick little stretch again if you need. As you're having your little shakeout, can we just bring ourselves up? We're bringing our dumbbell with us and we're going to jump onto that outside edge of our box there. Whilst you're having that shakeout of your shoulders, can we just start that little step up onto our box and our step back down? So we're stepping those feet up and then stepping back down. So it's a little bit of a sideways step up here, stepping up sideways onto that box, stepping down sideways off that box. Again, whilst you go for these first few, double check your space is fairly clear. I've just wiggled my plant a little bit forward, so hopefully I don't fall and crush my beautiful plant. I've been trying to keep it alive. So far, so good. We're gonna meet up on that box, ready to change it up. In 2. On your next one, stand up on that box for me. Now the foot that is closest to the reformer is gonna glue to that box. Other foot goes for that big step out and down. Can we find that squat? We step back up onto the box. Can just those toes tap onto that box? We go straight back down, we find that squat. So we step up, toes touch. We go back down, we find that squat. Toes tap up, we go back down, we find that squat. Keep this going. Start to find a little bit of a rhythm here. Again, as you come down into that squat, check that those knees are pointing slightly out. They're slightly turned out here. We don't want those knees turned in at all. Once that is feeling good, can we start to add our press of our dumbbell up to the sky? So we step up, that dumbbell presses up. We bring it back to our chest as we find that squat. Bring it down, press it up. Bring it down, we press it up. Keep this energy going here. If you want more on top of that, we can start to add that knee drive in. So knee comes up to chest, we drop it down low. Knee drives up to our chest, bring it down low. Can we start to lift that tempo a little bit? Bring that pace up, start to move that little bit faster, start to pump that little bit harder through our heart here. We've got just another 10 seconds. Keep this energy going, move that little bit faster. Last 5, we're finding our squat. In 3, in 2, last one. Can we just pulse it here? Go extra low. Can you reach that dumbbell forwards for me? We've got 8, we've got 7. We're gonna bring it up onto that box. In 4, 3, 2, step it up. Quick little shuffle, quick little shimmy out. We're turning away from our reformer now. We're gonna set up for our single leg squats. So feet are around the center of that box. Our foot is gonna reach back to find that shoulder block that's closest to us here. Dumbbell can just come and hang out at our chest. Let's just start off with our squats here. So we come down, keep that carriage still. Just find your squat and bring it back up for me. The aim of these first few squats again here is just to make sure we've got all of that weight in that box foot there. You can even test yourself out. Can you do a squat without that foot even touching that carriage? A little bit wobbly, but that's how much weight we should have on that box there. Really good. Once that's feeling good, can we come down low? We start to add that press out of our carriage. We bring it back in, we squeeze it back up. So we come down low, we press it out, we bring it in, squeeze it back up. Just like on that first side, as you go for that press out and in, we're nice and light with our toes on that carriage, and we're keeping nice and heavy on that box side. So again, we're trying to avoid sliding all the way out and over with our carriage. Stay nice and heavy over on that box. Keep all of your weight in that box. Just nice and light as we press that carriage leg out and in. If you want more from here, can we start to connect these movements? So we slide down all as one. We bring it all the way up together. So we go all the way down and all the way up together. Again, think about that bum tipping back behind you, that chest reaching forwards. If you want to add that dumbbell in, maybe you pass it into the same side as that carriage leg. We start to punch it across the body towards that foot bar. We bring it back in. Can we punch it across? We bring it back in. So adding in a little bit of that rotation there. Twisting through that hip, adding in that extra challenge. We have got 8 to go. We are almost there, guys. Hips are on fire. Embrace the shakes here. We're gonna hold it down low. We're gonna work just through that carriage leg, just through that skater. We have got 5. Meet me nice and deep. In 3, in 2, last one, stay low, just that carriage leg goes out and in. Out and in. Stay nice and low here. If you want that extra challenge, can that dumbbell get involved? Punches across the body, bring it back in. Across the body and back in. Last 10 seconds. Get that little bit deeper on that box foot. You can do this. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap it out. Let's have that little forward fold again. Onto that box. Take that little pedal out of those legs. Take that little sway, that little wag of the tail there. Really good. Slowly start to peel that body up, one vertebrae at a time. Big roll of those shoulders at the top there. Amazing work, everyone. Our dumbbell is done for today. So is our box, so they can both go away. We're gonna finish off with a little bit of work for our spinal articulation and then a nice, well-deserved stretch. So I'm just gonna pop one extra red spring back on my carriage there, just so it's nice and steady, and swivel myself around to face towards the back of my reformer. From here, I'm gonna find my mermaid sit position. I'm gonna start by just lining my left shin up with my shoulder blocks. My right leg is just gonna swing back behind me into that mermaid sit. From here, I'm gonna start off my stretch just by reaching those fingertips back behind me onto that carriage there. Maybe you just puff up through that chest, open up through that gaze. Perhaps you flow in and out of this here if that's for you. One more moment just like this. From here, we're going to take those fingertips just forwards, reaching them towards the rails of our reformer there. Nice and slowly, I'm just going to start to soften my body down over my legs here. Letting my head hang heavy, letting my chest relax down, letting that spine relax down here as well. We're going to work through a few deep breaths just here. Filling up those lungs, filling up the belly, and using those exhales just to soften, just to relax that little bit deeper into your stretch. If you do want a slightly more intense stretch, you're welcome to take both hands over towards that right hand side just to stretch that little bit deeper. Twist that little bit further. Last 2 breaths here. Try and release that hip that little bit more. Soften that hip. Last 2. And last 1. Just slowly walk those hands back in. Roll that spine back up. We're going to switch straight to the other side here. So this time, right shin lining up with those shoulder blocks, left leg just swinging back behind us here. Hands are going to come back to that back edge of the carriage and just start to puff that chest up again. You're welcome to hold that stretch or flow in and out of that movement. We've got 2 more breaths just like this. Last 1. On that exhale, just start to reach those hands out in front of you and soften that body over those legs for me. Reaching those fingertips that little bit further down those rails, softening that body, that spine, that head and neck over those legs here. These are our last few moments of class here. Really take these moments just to soften the body, relax the body, and release through these hips here. Again, if you did want to intensify that stretch, you're welcome to bring both hands over towards that left-hand side, just sinking that little bit deeper into your stretch there. We have our last 2 deep breaths here. Really take these last 2 deep breaths just to thank your body for all the amazing things it has done in class today, all the amazing things it has done over your day or week so far. One last big breath in here. And as you exhale, we're just going to walk those hands back in. Roll that spine back up. And that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me in today's class. Again, if there's any feedback or if you liked this one, let me know down in the comments and I will see you on the next one. Thanks.